My name is Oleg Dunika. My special guest today is the Vice-Rector for Research and Academic Affairs in the field of international cooperation, Kyiv National University of Taras Shevchenko, Kseniya Smyrnova. Yeah, we are very glad to see you. We should discuss together now the most important recent joint public event with the President of European Court of Human Rights.
You're absolutely right. We just recently hosted the special esteemed guest in our university, in Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv, the President of the European Court of Human Rights. The latest visit of the President of the Court was 15 years ago. Imagine, it was 15 years ago. It was a very symbolic event.
Yeah.
The President of the European Court of Human Rights visit and his speech and his meeting with students and with our academic staff, it was provided within our Canoe Diplomacy Talks as a platform for the very deep discussions on the very hot topics within the world geopolitics, the world international order and so on.
What is the role of your university in this system? I'm not just talking about the diplomacy talk, the platform. I mean the function in jurisdiction, in the human rights violations and other else.
May I share with you some joke,
Okay.
if you don't mind?
Yeah.
I'm joking with my students. When I'm teaching EU law, when I'm teaching about the EU judiciary, I'm saying to that you should know two languages, English and French, because some of you will be the judge of European Court of Human Rights.
Oh, yeah.
I said yesterday to the President that his speech to the young lawyers, because specifically these are our students that will be young and new ambassadors for Ukraine within the peace. First of all, European Court of Human Rights. This is the heart of peace. This is the instrument to discover peace in the European region. Within his speech, he also referred that sometimes European system of the protection of human rights was not so successful because there were a lot of conflicts, armed conflicts, and the war in the heart of Europe. But at the same time, while armed conflicts in Georgia, in Kosovo, in the former Yugoslavia, all that issues, the court investigated all these cases. And the role of court is really pivotal in the system of the peaceful, resilient of Europe. First of all, we can see really aggression. But at the same time, all the instruments that are created by international law should be fulfilled and should be followed.
Yeah.
We don't have any other means. We have only international law instruments. And within this framework, all aggressors should be punished fairly, with a truth manner, with a good faith, but at the same time punished, and it should be reliable. They should be reliable on all that crimes that they committed. And he also mentioned, by the way, to our students and within this meeting, the role of Council of Europe concerning the new mechanisms that are created by Council of Europe, concerning the new compensation mechanism, the new register of damages, and the new upcoming international commission that should be created and will be created within the structure of Council of Europe with the aim to punish the aggressor.
Did all of them emerge due to the war in Ukraine?
Yes, it was just emerged. The partial agreement within the Council of Europe was just signed. There are 4 countries, there are 4 states, member states of Council of Europe that are already ratified this convention, and now all other states are in process of ratifying. Now the law is already drafted to our parliament, and Ukraine also should ratify this convention, and it should be created the new international instrument within the existing international framework, but a new mechanism that is aimed specifically to the fight against aggression of Russian Federation.
And also we are talking now about the compensation by the Russian assets.
Yes, absolutely right. First of all, state assets. This is the first and legal, and there are legal instruments to recover state assets in different forms. And the second issue is private assets of that persons who are under the
Sections.
sanctions. And the second issue is more complicated due to a lot of different conflicts of norms within the civil legislation, different countries, and so on. So that's why we're speaking about the first direct course of state assets. This is the most easiest way, but it's not the final stage.
Yeah, exactly.
The president mentioned more than 15,000 applications that they received, and all
From
that
Ukrainians,
applications should be discovered and should be investigated and should be fulfilled as eligible.
These terrible crimes of Russian army in Ukraine, we have to investigate for a very long time in the future. I mean, it's not the question of months. It's the question of years, maybe a decade.
Of course, there are a lot of principles, a lot of complex issues where, when the Council of Europe was created, it was the first task after the Second World War to protect human rights. And within these first tasks, they continue to follow all the enforcement procedures, all the investigations within the European Court of Human Rights. The practice of European Court of Human Rights, it's really tremendous. It's tremendous source of analyzing, of using from different kind of proceedings and so on. I really wanted to mention that this is one of the source of law in Ukraine as well, and our domestic courts are also using the practice of European Court of Human Rights directly.
Yeah.
At the same time, we cannot say that this is a very the new strategy of the role of European Court of Human Rights. No, the task and the strategy remains unstable. Fair investigation, fair decision, as a collective decision of the 46 judges from different member states. And it's also very important because all of them, they are voting. And all of them, they are within the board of the decisive, and they have this decisive powers. So it's also very important because all that decisions should be under the special procedure. So that's why there is no specific strategy of European Court of Human Rights. But at the same time, the activism of the applicants also showed us that there will be new and new decisions. What we faced? We faced not only physical aggression.
Yeah.
We
Cyber,
remember
yeah.
that the arms stopped. The enemy stopped just the kilometer from the main building of university.
Yeah.
So from one side, this is a really physical aggression, but at the same time, it's an intellectual aggression as well.
Yes.
And we are also fighting against this intellectual aggression, on dispelling the myths, on dispelling disinformation, fighting against propaganda, fighting against brainwashing, I could say, that we can really see in the world.
Brainwashing.
Now we can really see that Ukraine is the very huge field of experiments that we are facing now. Look on the energy crisis.
Yeah.
Look at the ecological challenges and so on. All that issues are under the experiment. How to deal with all that challenges. We are dealing with these experiments, and we are overcoming all these challenges. Experts from the EU, they are observing that and saying that there are so many innovative instruments to solve all that challenges that are under the very big experiment in Ukraine.
We saw this demand from the EU in Ukrainian cutting-edge development in different areas. I mean, humanitarian demining, drone and counter-drone, AI and other else. But the law is the problem with the Ukrainian standards and NATO standards, for example, or Ukrainian jurisdiction and EU jurisdiction.
EU experts really observing this potential, because the level of that innovative speed, I could say, the speed of innovative solutions, they're really very high in Ukraine.
Yeah.
We can see in this field of in the field of IT. I cannot mention another example within the EU member states. They have such a level of digitalization. New innovative in the sphere of security. New innovative instruments to secure energy system in Ukraine. I can prolong this list of
defense,
these
dual use,
solutions,
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And now I think that EU experts are using our experience to be more stronger together with us, because they can really feel this weakness, because they are not so fast, they are not so speedy in such processes. Here in Ukraine we have creative youth with innovative startups, with new solutions. You mentioned NATO standards.
Yeah.
You know that NATO standards are already implemented in Ukraine. It's not a fast track, but at the same time this process is ongoing. Just I want to mention one example on that. Since 2014, especially in our university, we established the new educational program, military psychology, because of the NATO standards. Because in each army unit should be military psychologist. So the special track of the preparation of the military psychologist should be created. We are in this track since the beginning of the war, since 2014. And we are creating the huge pool of experts that are experts in specifically military psychology.
What about tech domain? What about technical domain?
There are so many different innovations that we are doing within the radio electronics, physics, maths, all that interdisciplinary, let's say, applied sciences sphere that are really contributive. What we don't have? We don't have equipment. We don't have collider, unfortunately. But at the same time, we have knowledge. In Ukraine, we secure knowledge. So that's why I think that synergetic uniting equipment and knowledge, theory and practice together, this is this hot mix of that innovator incubator that we are having now in Ukraine.
Or accelerator.
Or accelerator.
Yeah. Maybe your university has to explore the role of layer of adapting Ukrainian standards for innovations and EU demand, and also the NATO standards, for example, to collaborate closely.
What is the role now currently? We as an academic hub, as an academic platform for the deep research of all that issues, of all the instruments of European integration in the European continent. We are providing knowledge. We are providing from one side knowledge, then their critical thinking, their analysis, and then after that deep research and analysis.
Not just in human rights sphere.
Not only human rights, but in the whole spectrum of the European integration system. One of the examples of that, for example, I'm as a president of the Ukrainian Association of European Law. Last year, we adopted the decision to be the members, and this decision was confirmed by the Federation of Associations of European Law on the European level. So we are the members of European, we have this European membership within the European Association of
Congratulations,
Studies. So the role is within the deep providing of deep knowledge and providing deep research on that issues for the young population, for the researchers as well. Then, for example, lawyers, researchers in politology, researchers in different other spheres within the European integration, communications and so on, they are becoming experts.
Innovation sphere
and so on. So all that academia members, they are becoming experts. So the role of university now, I can see This is the very deep expert spirit and expert society that we are creating that could be felt in and used to European law as well, to the European decision makers as well, as the civil society, as the new type of investigators, the new type of experts, because we are all together. So that's why I think the EU market, if we're speaking more broadly, really now is opened. Really is opened for Ukrainian innovations that should be filled in. Of course, we need time when our economy to be grown up. We need time for that. What are the sources to grow up this economy? Investments, mutual projects, and this collaboration with the EU. So now we are now in process on doing that together, and then open market for investments in Ukraine, and then these new innovative solutions should be created together with the new investors who are coming to Ukraine. And by the way, here within the human rights. And the human rights protection also plays a pivotal role here, because investments should come here only where the human rights protection, the rule of law, and all that issues should be in line with the EU standards, transparent, fair, and protected.
I have to ask you not just about collaboration with the EU, with the European University, but overseas, with the American University. For example, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. We have the collaboration with the MIT during 2 or 3 years, during the war time. The prominent university in the United States, which is serving now the Innovation Fund of NATO. It's the worldwide community in Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
We started this collaboration in 2022 officially with MIT, and by the way, MIT supported a lot with our initiatives. I wanted to mention one initiative, and by the way, MIT specialists support us with that. You remember the first weeks of the invasion, especially invasion in Kharkiv. The very young, very talented mathematician was killed, Yulia Zdanovska. She was our alumni. She was really very talented mathematician. She received a lot of invitation to be the visiting professor in American universities all over Europe, but she decided to stay in Kharkiv and to teach math to pupils in school. Unfortunately, she died. When she died, by our university, we made the decision to apply to our local governance to rename the street, Lomonosov Street, where our campus is located, to be retitled to Yulia Zdanovsky. And we applied to our MIT scholars, MIT colleagues, because they knew Yulia very well within the competitions, between students competition and so on. And MIT community also supported us and also officially applied the request, and they supported this retitling of the street. It's very symbolic.
Yeah, symbolic.
But within all this symbolism, we can really create something new. Because all these symbols, when we are seeing these symbols, when we are paying attention on these symbols, then we can see the strategy. And we can follow these symbols to reach the strategic goal. In 2022, the first day of full-scale invasion, it was the idea to create a new digital environment for the education. Because we were working since the 24th of February 2022, we were working each day. But what we faced? We faced massive exodus. We faced, and we observed massive and chaotic mobility and migration. It was a very strategic decision to create such digital solutions to secure people, to secure students, professors, researchers, together.
People of academia.
Academia, of university. And it was the idea to create the digital platform. This idea was expressed me personally in different conferences, networks, platforms, and so on. And the European Commission really dedicated the special track, the special window for the Strand 3 on the Erasmus Plus project on the creation of new digital ecosystem. We applied for this project. It was a competition because there were other applicants, and we won this project in 2023. We started this project in 2024, and I really can say that I'm very honored of this project. This is the biggest project in Ukraine due to the whole history of Ukrainian participation in Erasmus Plus projects. It's a very complicated project. It's not so easy because we have 26 partners within the consortium. But at the same time, now we already...
Whole Europe, yeah?
We have 10 universities from Ukraine because the main task of this project to create digital ecosystem, educational ecosystem.
I thought
in Ukraine.
26 members.
No, no.
Sorry.
Because France, Germany, Poland, Spanish, other countries from the EU, and 10 Ukrainian universities. The main idea of this project is to create the digital educational ecosystem. It's a very innovative approach. We all have some experience with Moodle. We all have had experience within the COVID times on all the digitalized aspects, Zoom sessions, Moodle, and or classrooms or other instruments. But at the same time, all that digital tools are chaotic. They are somewhere.
Yeah.
The idea of DigiUni, on create digital university.
DigiUni, it's the name of
This
title,
is the name of this project, DigiUni, Open Ukrainian Initiative. Within this title, there are a lot of symbols. First of all, this is digital university as a platform that could combine all the existing digital tools. It's not interchangeable, because all existing tools remain stable, but at the same time we're creating something new as a new layer for digital education. Another part of the title of this project, Open Ukrainian Initiative. This part is really connected with the European Universities Initiative that was started by Macron himself in 2017 with the idea of the creation of European universities as alliances.
Yeah.
The aim of that was to be more compatibility of the higher education in Europe, at the same time combining universities from different member states and creating also digital environment between them. So that's why our project, DigiUni, is echoing of European current modern trends in Ukraine. And we are now implementing these current trends in Ukraine.
As a part of a whole Europe project.
Is the part of the whole Europe project. And this is only the beginning, because this is only the first step. There are a lot of steps ahead on moving forward, on being more integrated within the European system of higher education, the European system of science, open science, the entry to the European market of the startups, innovations, and so on. So this is the first step. The second step will be participation in so-called new trend European degree. And we are already preparing to participate in this new trend.
Science degree.
European degree. It's a new label. It's something new.
European degree.
European degree. Moreover, so we are now also experimenting with these digital solutions, and we're experimenting together with EU partners. They are also observing what we are doing. We are observing and analyzing their best practices. At the same time, we are doing something together as a new innovative product.
Your initiative about the Ukrainian studies, so-called Ukrainian studies.
Or studies of Ukraine. We transformed from Ukrainian studies to study of Ukraine. What is the difference? The difference is within the scope. Ukrainian studies It's merely about the humanitarian aspect. During the last 4 years, I really wanted to mention that we have developed the network of our hubs. During these years, we established more than 200 new hubs, not existed, but new hubs, of learning Ukrainian language as foreign language. For example, in the University of Edinburgh,
Cool.
they didn't have Ukrainian language whenever. But at the same time, they introduced Ukrainian language together with us.
As a faculty, as a
It's
discipline.
it's a discipline.
Is a discipline.
It's a discipline of studying Ukrainian language as foreign language in Edinburgh, together with our professors, with our contributions, with our methodology, how to teach Ukrainian language as foreign language. But it's only one aspect. When we're speaking about the study of Ukraine, it's about everything. It's about the history. It's about of the dispelling of myths.
The heritage, yeah.
The heritage, the spelling of myths when we are under the shadow of the decolonizational processes. We were in the shadow of imperialism.
Yeah.
So that's why we were weak on that. We were under this shadow. Now we have this possibility and we have this our goal to share this fair knowledge to our partners, to universities, to society. To the simple society of different countries. What are the facts? What were these facts? What is Ukraine? What is Ukrainian history? Where we are? Where we were? We also speak about the geopolitics. We are speaking about the economy. How the invasion in Ukraine changed the whole international network of supply chains.
Yeah, exactly.
Changed dramatically.
Exactly.
Of course, we now have another examples of shaping everything within the international trade system, but it was already also started with invasion in Ukraine. Then we're speaking about the different other aspects, folk or other humanitarian aspects, but not only humanitarian. We're speaking about the chemistry. We are speaking about physics. We're speaking about new innovations that are created in Ukraine. This is also about Ukraine. I'm paraphrasing the phrase of the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, when he stated there are no negotiations about Ukraine without Ukraine. We are paraphrasing that within the scientific diplomacy, that no scientific projects about Ukraine without Ukrainian researchers.
I fully agree with you, yeah. I saw some scientific collaboration about Ukraine, but without participation of our representatives, and it was very shocked for me. So especially it was the track with MIT collaboration during this hackathon. January hackathon this year, we developed some innovative approach to the counter-drone system. It is very honestly, and is very important for our country. It is very crucial for Ukraine during the war. You know, this track is priority track.
Of course, it's one of the priority, and it's one of the crucial priority that all that should be done within the academia and everything that should be done in the sphere of tech, of technologies, applied science, they should be aimed at that. But at the same time, in parallel, all other issues that are connected to the rebuilding of Ukraine, or
recovery,
building,
yeah.
or recovery, or building new infrastructure, this is also one of the priorities. So I can really say that this is the road with
Like parallel,
with parallel tracks, because in parallel we are facing aggression, we are facing war, physical war, and all that industry and the industry should be really focused on military, and academia as well. Academia is also following all that state strategies and priorities on supporting and giving these solutions. At the same time, the state also asking us as a tendency makers, as I said, for the parallel tracks. What are the aspects for the infrastructure to be recovered? What are these paths? In which way to create the framework of the all Ukrainian system of the recovery? It means that this is a very wide range of aspects, from the infrastructural aspects, from different sides, energy infrastructure, transport infrastructure, sustainability, everything. At the same time, finding the solutions to create this new infrastructure. I mean, financial sources, where we can find these financial sources for all that recovery of the infrastructure. So it means that we should create such a conditions, legal framework, administrative framework for the upcoming investors, for the upcoming public-private partnerships that should be legal. There should be legal instruments on that. So we should create these governmental conditions, regulatory conditions for giving these possibilities to find these financial sources. Not to rely only to loans, but to rely on our own system of sovereignty, economic sovereignty, digital sovereignty, and so on. So all that conditions that should be really created. And university plays a pivotal role on creating such as solutions, recommending, providing consultations for such kind of solutions on the state level that could be really secured for the whole state within the military, security aspect, and recovery. There are a lot of perspectives because, as I mentioned, we have already background, the very strong basis.
Like classic university.
As a classic university.
Red building.
Academia.
Academia.
Brains.
Yeah.
This is the core element of academia. Brains.
Yes.
Minds. Open-minded academic community, I could say. And very high professional. The university community, the university spirit inside, this is the area where a lot of, there is the collection of tendency makers for decision makers in different spheres, within the politics, within the innovations.
Like the basement, yeah?
The basement and the space where all these decisions appeared, where all these ideas are born. These ideas are born within the society of academia, of researchers, and this atmosphere in this area. And after that, all these ideas, with their leadership and their focusing on the strategic priorities, they should be implemented. And they are implemented already. So what we can see now, that EU, our international partners, US, they heard us. And this is very important to secure the system of that spirit of this atmosphere, of this brainstorming of ideas, the networking of these ideas. And then these ideas will be followed by the very concrete technologies, very concrete innovative technologies in different spheres, dual use as well. Because when we're speaking about the physics, chemistry, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
natural,
absolutely everywhere.
Exactly.
And this is one of the fields when we can see our future development.
We have this potential in the future, maybe 5 or 10 years, to be on the first place, on the prime position of innovative wave, and also on the dual use and defense, accelerating, developing, or I don't know, incubating all of possibilities initially.
You know, you're absolutely right. I fully agree with you, because even all that 360 partnerships, if we're speaking about the content of all of these partners, they are all focused about some mutual aspects.
Yeah.
And these mutual aspects is also based on Ukrainian experience.
This is the real base for this collaboration. So some words about the scale of your network.
Now we have more than 360 partnerships. As I mentioned, partnerships that have the content inside.
That based on projects?
They're based on different kind of mutual projects.
Really projects.
Starting from mobility of students, exchange of staff, joint research projects, joint educational projects, joint platforms, virtual mobility or other. There are different forms. We don't have one unique sample for all of the partners. Each partner is unique. Among all that more than 360 partnerships, I could really mention that we are now assessing and monitoring these existing partnerships. We are all in process on that. And now we are really facing that some of them, they are strategic. They are strategic because they are fully in line with the classical university on the interdisciplinary manner. I can share with you the example of University of Edinburgh. University of Edinburgh is the top 10 universities in the world.
Yeah.
So if I'm speaking about the competitiveness of the Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv, so we have strategic partnership with the University of Edinburgh. So it means that we can really see this potential to be in the highest level of the universities in the world.
Ranking, yeah.
Of course, we also have colleagues, friends, partners within the Ukrainian universities, but now as a strategy, we have the special strategy to be more compatible within the international system of the higher education. We have potential of our academia. We have the potential within our research. We have the potential within our humanitarian aspects, as you already mentioned, as a classical university. We really have this potential, and we are moving on that way to be competitive with all the level of different universities on the international level. The partnerships, American universities, Canadian universities, Chinese universities, Far East countries, universities, all over the world. We have these partnerships. We have created this network of the partnerships. And this partnership, it's not only the meetings, it's not only the discussions. The partnership, it's common projects. This is the core element of the partnerships, because the projects mutual projects. These projects could be different in their scope, in their content, on their dimensions. They could be different. But we are realizing joint projects from different forms, virtual, physical, using a lot of different innovative instruments.
Interdisciplinary, yeah.
On the interdisciplinary manner. And I can say that really on the strategy level, we faced this opportunity to raise our competitiveness on the international level.
So all of these advantages which we discussed now, within the 300 projects, common project with the different universities? Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So students can really have the possibility to have this mobility projects with all our partners on the bilateral level, with all. Not only to the EU. We have a lot of students who are studied in Japan. They are studying abroad in the US, in Canada, in Latin America, in the Far East countries. And they have these possibilities.
Yeah.
It's a unique opportunity now, and I could really say that we have very record quantity figures on the amount of the mobility and students using this mobility. For example, last year we had 1,600 students. They used this mobility scheme to study abroad. Cool. This is number one in Ukraine. During these 5 years, under the leadership, we secured stuff. We created conditions for working.
What does it mean, we secured stuff?
It means that as I mentioned, you remember in February 22, it was a chaotic migration of different people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we now also see and observe that there are researchers that stayed in other countries. We are continuing to provide, to find the solutions to have these bridges between them. But at the same time, we don't have the solution how bring them back. We don't know how to do it. At the same time, they left. But the majority of people, they came back to university because of the stable work, because of the stable social security standards in Ukraine, because of their families, because of their
land.
Their land.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But you saved.
We
Stuff,
saved
yeah.
our stuff.
Yeah. What else?
We saved our students. The pre-invasion time, we placed as a university #1 due to the numbers of students. Now we
The quantity, yeah?
as a yes. But at the same time, now we are facing that, for example, Lviv and Chernivtsi, who are on the western part.
Yeah.
So now we can really see this migration of people, displacement persons from the central part of Ukraine to the western part.
Yeah.
So we are observing these tendencies, but as I said, even through these tendencies, taking into account the whole decreasing of amount of young people in Ukraine, we have secured the level of students in our university. Just recently I read the statement of the First Lady of Ukraine. She mentioned that there are more than 115,000 of pupils from Ukraine studied now abroad.
Pupils.
Pupils. It means that are potential students in universities.
School children, yeah.
A lot of universities in Ukraine, they also face this decreasing of amount of students. During all these years, we secured the amount of students. And I think that is really very beneficial. We have up to 30,000 of students.
30,000, yeah.
We saved this level in comparison with the 2021, I mean pre-invasion conditions. We saved these figures.
Due to the international assistance?
Due to the international assistance, due to this academic environment that we created, due to the security environment, technical environment in universities.
Yeah, I think that whole Ukraine remember the terrorist act which was near your university at the beginning of the full-scale invasion. I was there personally.
Since the first day of invasion, we are on the first line and the first line of the educational front. We are securing this front line, and we are also continuing to protect this front line as an educational diplomacy. We secured all the premises, classrooms, physical education in university. We secured that during all these years, so that's why we really feel this competitiveness in Ukraine.
Due to their stability.
Yes, it's due to the stability and due to the all created conditions. Students now, they have so many possibilities. They have meeting with so esteemed guests, as we already mentioned in the very beginning, with the President of the European Court of Human Rights. They had the meetings with the President of European Parliament. By the way, Roberta Metsola is the honorable professor of our university, and she visited our university. And the students had this possibility to meet in person, to have the discussion. It's very important to have new skills and exchange of information and so on. So we created the system for our students where they can use a lot of different possibilities to communicate with international partners. They can use academic mobility instruments to go to the semester to our partnership and to study there, then come back and to see what is going on, to have their worldwide opinion more open, more wider.
So we have to prepare ourselves for the new title of your university, not just Kyiv National University of Taras Shevchenko, but Global University of Taras
No,
Shevchenko.
we will not change the name, absolutely, because our name, Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv, is already well known in the world.
Yeah, honestly.
And thank you very much. I just really wanted to mention that we just recently started a very unique and interesting project together with International Association of Universities. International Association of Universities is a very esteemed association that covers more than 1,000 universities all over the world. We are the members of this association, and we have a very close partnership with them as a professional, within the professional network. And we just 2 weeks ago, we started a new project, and they are supporting us and providing consultations on widening of the partnerships, assessing the internationalization of university. It's a very unique opportunity because we will have a board and they will consult us and support us and advise us how to modernize partnerships. What are the new forms and variety aspects on more deeper collaborations? So you can see that this is the project on the level of International Association of Universities, and they are providing these consultations for us with the aim to give this support not only for us, but also to give the opportunity to other partnerships within this association to be closer with us.
Over 300 common projects with the international partners. You have a huge amount of, huge quantity of students. You have crucial perspectives for Kyiv National University of Taras Shevchenko as well. So I wish you to save this stability of your university for the national defense, for the national economy, for recovery, for the future generation. And I wish you to be able to collaborate further all over the world with your unique and very spread network.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.